Right. Website SEO 2022. So how to use the expired domains when you're performing website SEO. This is a common question for website SEO in 2022. So in any case, hey there, my name is Chris Palmer. In today's website SEO video, what I'd like to share with you is you bought the expired domain, right? Now what? So I get this question quite consistently, so that's exactly what I want to walk you through today. You purchased the expired domain, you feel it's going to be a good fit, you want to know, well, what are the next steps? What do I need to do from here? So let's not waste any time. I'm going to get directly into this so I can answer this question for you. If you need more assistance, of course, check out chrispalmermarketing.com. With that being said, let's not waste too much time jibber-jawing. I'll go ahead and get into it. So regardless of the tool of how you're finding the expired domain, like whether you're using, Scrapebox, I use Scrapebox for a magnitude of different things, whether you're using Spamzilla or Dropcatcher, that's irrelevant, or expireddomains.net. However you find the domain, sometimes you do not always get the return back. I want you to know that up front, all right? Not all of them are going to work exactly how you want. Not all of them are worth 301ing the entire domain. Not all of them are worth building on. So I just want you to know this up front. This is a piece of information I had to learn the hard way, all right? So just know this going into it. So with that being said, one of the very first steps is once you have the domain, all right? So let's just go for instance, all right? Let's say you've gone to the likes of a domain. Now let's just utilize something that's out there. Let's just look for, say, an SEO domain. All right. Let's just say, for instance, that what you want to do is you found, let's go out here, so a site that doesn't have a whole boatload of links. Let's say that you found this website as an expired domain. All right. So let's say it is, well, all these are pretty big actually. So let's keep going. Let's say you found this as an expired domain. Okay, I have no idea who this is. I'm just using it as an example. All right. So once you have the expired domain and it's been transferred, what are some of the very next steps? All right, and that's exactly what I want to get into. So one of the very first things that I do is I'm going to go out here and I'm going to put the domain into a tool just like SEMrush. SEMrush is what I use for a lot of things. If you want to use Ahrefs or both together, that's perfectly fine. So one of the very first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in the domain, all right? And this is after the checks. I'm not going through how to find them. I'm sharing, you've already found it. Now what, right? So one of the very first things that I would highly recommend doing is putting the main domain in. And the very first thing is we need to determine which pages need to be rebuilt, okay? And the reason for this is, we want to see if they quickly index and show right back up into the search results. So I'm very confident they'll re-index, but do they show right back up inside of the search results? If they make it into the search results, if they make it past the filter, or better yet, there's already pages there, excellent. Okay, so I'll share with you multiple tips as we go through. So let's just say that the very first one is going to be, you want to check for pages cached already. So simply by doing a site : search, you could see if Google already still has a few pages sitting in the index. This could be a big plus for you, even if it's an expired domain. Hey, is there anything still in the index? Does Google even know about this site anymore? The next piece is figuring out, well, what are the best pages? So if you come into, say, SEMrush, this is the tool I use, you'll put your main domain in. We're going to do root domain. You're going to go to the left-hand side here under the link building tab, and what you're looking for is going to be the backlink analytics, okay? It might be on the overview page, but let me double check. So what you're looking for right now is we're looking for the top pages. And the reason for this is these are going to be the pages that you're going to build out, all right? So the very next step, in my opinion, and there's no particular order, this is just what I do, I'm sharing with you my best insights, is going to be look for the top pages. So look and make list of the top pages, okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. So we want to go ahead and make a list of our top pages. So we'll go in here and we'll view our full report. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this report here. Bear with me here as we go. So this particular site, this would be an excellent expired domain to buy. Now there's 22 pages that are really good. However, if we were to take a look at this and sort by backlinks, okay, what we would do is a lot of expired domains aren't going to have this many. If they do, hooray for you, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to export this list, and I'll do it with you right now, just so you can get a general idea of what exactly we're looking at. We'll come on over here. We're going to go over to Drive. Okay. Then all you have to do is take this list and drag it into here like this. If you're using Google, everybody has this. You can just drag and drop it right in. This is Sheets. It's the equivalent of a Excel sheet. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open this up. And what we're looking for is which pages have all of the backlinks. All right. So in this case, we're not necessarily concerned with this one. We don't care about this. We do care about this. Okay. We're not too interested in this. And then right here is going to be this. Okay. Now we're going to open this up. All right. And then we can go ahead and remove these. So delete selected columns. Now we can see that the best pages, or the pages that we're going to rebuild, are going to be, again, this site, I would probably go about building them all the way. I'd probably just build up to here, because again, we don't want it to, because if we're repurposing the website, we don't want that many new pages into the index. And that's going to be a good point that I want to make. So the very next thing is again going to be look and make a list of the top pages, okay, to be rebuilt. All right. The next element is this, whatever that number is. All right, so this is what I have found over the course of time. If there is 39 pages that need to be rebuilt because the majority of the links are going to these pages, or you can even sort by authority, but for me, it's just volume. Which pages have the bulk of the links going to them? I'm not going to rebuild the whole thing. That would be not for just a couple. You know, these ones I probably would rebuild, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going down to the 100 mark. Honestly, if this was mine, I'd probably go down to here where it stopped here, probably about here. So I'd rebuild this 100 pages. But with that being said, just for sake of the video, let's just say it's these. All right. So if there's 30 pages that contain the bulk of the links, you also want to make an equivalent or more of the new topic that you're going to be talking about, okay? Meaning, if I'm repurposing the website, if I'm going to go out there and recreate this page, and it's about one topic, if I'm going to reissue 30 pages, I need to make 30 equivalent pages that are about my new topic as well. Why? Because when I reindex and recrawl this new page, this new site, I want those topics to be together. Okay, like it's about this and it's about this. All right, especially as we go to reindex. So that's the next thing. I just want to put this out on the table. You know, if rebuilding 30 new pages, just as the example like I showed. All right, also rebuild 30 pages of your current topic. Okay, I hope that makes sense after the explanation. If it's about dogs, but my new blog is going to be about cats, make sure I rebuild those dog pages, but make sure I build out equivalent amounts of cat pages as well, especially for the initial reindexation. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Now, this is a very crucial point that I want to make. However these pages are built out, HTTPS www. Right, whatever the name of the website is, godelta.com. That's exactly how the pages need to be rebuilt out. So if there's a dub, and that's how the links were being built in, this is exactly the pages that you need to rebuild. All right, so however it's laid out, that's exactly how we want to rebuild it. So what I want to go ahead and do is give you one more step here. So number 4 is going to be rebuild the URLs just like they were. like literally exactly how they were. They were HTTPS with www, great. If there was no www, then no www. If they had some pages that were www and some pages that weren't, then create your redirect, okay? So build them exactly how they were on the pages that have the bulk of the backlinks going to them. Now, the next step in something that I do is I don't wear the tinfoil hat. I go and I plug it in directly to Google Search Console. If you're watching this and you're unsure what Google Search Console is, I assume that you're not, but just in case you don't know what it is, go out here. It's Google Search Console, okay? So this is Google Search Console. This is a tool that's given to us by Google. All you'll do is you'll come to here, search.google.com/search-console. You're going to click the Start Now button. You're going to put your domain in here. When you come in here, you can add your property this way too. You can go up here to the left-hand side. It's over here. Click Add Property, add your domain. They're going to give you a little tiny code to put into DNS. Do that. It makes life so easy for you. All right. So make sure you're attaching to Google Search Console. Plug it in. I don't wear the hat. Why you would want to hide your site from Google? We don't want to hide our site from Google. This is just another website. Regardless of the purpose of the site, in my opinion, I'm submitting it. I want them to see it. I want them to crawl it. You know, I want to get credit for everything. So 5, submit and create Google Search Console account. Okay. And the reason is we're going to create our XML sitemap, but it's not time yet. All right. So the timeline here is we've bought the domain. We've done a scan to figure out what the top pages are to be rebuilt. The next step is we need to figure out what are those backlinks that are pointing in. All right. Because we need to give them a little boost. So here's what I do. So say this is the domain. We're going to go to the root domain. What I do is I go to backlinks. All right. So again, we're looking at the root domain. We've put in the entire domain. That's an expired domain that we are going to rebuild those pages. But what we want to look at is we're going to put this in. We're going to go to backlinks. Okay. We're going to go to follow. We're going to go to active, or for this instance, it's going to be all, right? It's going to actually be all follow. Okay. And then you're going to click on mobile friendly. All right. Now, whatever this is, you're going to export this list. All right, so let me just go ahead and do that. So for this instance, just to make the list smaller for sake of video, I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. So let's just do these. Let's see how many of them are sponsored. How about no follow? Wow, even more. Okay, doesn't matter. So here's what you'll do. You'll export this list, and I want to explain something to you with a live example. All right, so now we've exported the backlinks that are pointing at this domain and all those different pages, right? So we've exported the list. So the same type of process, you're going to head on over here to the Sheets platform or whatever you use. If you use Excel, great. This comes with every single browser, very easy to use. What you'll do then is you're going to literally take this, drag and drop it into here. All right. And then we're going to take a look at this. Now there's some sorting that needs to be done here. And I'll share this with you exactly what you'll need to do at this point. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to, everything from, like this anchor you don't need, delete. What we're looking for is this right here. So we're going to go ahead and clean all this off. All right. So we're going to go to delete columns. All right. So we have target URL. So I'm not worried about that. Source URL. So source title. So we don't need this and we don't need this. Okay. So now we're going to clear this out. So now what are we looking at here? We've downloaded the backlink list of all the pages of all the links that are pointing at the site, right? Every single link that's pointing at the site, we went and downloaded it. All right. Irrelevant of power. It doesn't matter. Every single backlink that's pointing into that site, download the list. Now, the two screens that we're seeing here, or the two columns that we're seeing here, is we have the URLs, all right? And then we have the amount of external links. Now, why is this relevant? When we're going down this list, all right, a lot of times what you're going to find is we pulled in backlinks because we want to see the actual URLs that are pointing in, the backlinks that are pointing in to the expired domain. What you'll find, and we'll go through this list together here. Here's a perfect example. So as you can see here, there's find something, but there's 1, 2. So see all these here? These are all the same domain. Now, we're taking a look at this. the amount of external links from this page, all right, these are actually all the same page, so I would probably just clear this out of my list, right? Now I'm going to keep working down my list. Okay, again, so here we have this here. It's all from the same exact website. All right, and here's a good example. So these two are coming from the same website. Now, what we're going to look at here is they're coming from the exact same website, but different pages. So how I make my decision is on which page has the least amount of external links on it. So for this case, there's only 2 examples here, but you get the point. They're the same exact site. I only want to keep one of these backlinks, right? They're all still going to be there because I'm going to share with you a process here. But I really only want to send to the indexer, the one that has the least amount of external links on it. So what I'm going to do is see how this one's 34 and this one right here has 8. I'm going to clean this off of my list. All right, so clean that out. Keep the one with 8. I'll keep working down the list. So again, we have the same amount of links here. We're going to go right through here. We can see that they're all the same, but I still only want one in the list, right? So I deleted that. We're going to keep going down the list. We're looking for the same ones. Again, see how these are all the same site? What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean these off the list. Okay, so delete rows. Now again, I'm looking for another good example that I could show you briefly. All right, perfect example. So here we go. So all of these sites from here to here are the same exact URL, but they're different pages. They're different URLs technically, but they're coming from the same source domain. So in this instance, what we're going to do is when we look down this list, this one only has 91 and it's closer to the root. So obviously what we want to do is clear these off of the main list. Okay, and the reason why you want to do this is we really are going to take this entire backlink list and we're going to take it to a indexing service. So we're going to jumpstart the backlinks that are pointing to our expired domain. And then when we clean the list out, we're only sending to the indexer the pages that have the least amount of external links. I hope that makes sense. So that's what we're doing here, and that's how you do it. So that's the next piece. So you're going to submit and create your GSC account. Number 6 is sort backlink list to get ready for indexer. Okay. Also, too, within there, the one before that, we rebuilt the pages. Now we're looking at the backlinks pointing at the expired domain, and we're sorting the list for duplicates pointing to the same, like coming from the same page, and we're sorting those by the amount of external links going out, right? So if we're going to go and index a page, we want it to be the best page that's pointing to us. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Now, as far as the indexer is concerned, there's a magnitude of indexers out there. I'm sure you can find that for yourself. I think Omega's been down. That's the one that was working. I'm sure they figured it out by now. Maybe Omega indexer is good. But again, I'll give you this example. So Omega indexer, I'm not promoting them. I don't use this particular service, but I know that it's a well-known indexer within the marketplace. So here's who they are. If you want to use them, by all means, go right ahead. I'm just giving you an example so you understand what an indexer is. Okay. So just to wrap this up, I guess I just want to make sure that we have the steps here. So we've checked the pages for cache, so we want to see, hey, like before we even bought it, we're checking to see, hey, is there anything actually still there? Because it'll be expired, but sometimes Google will have some fragments in the search results, right? And then the next piece is look and make a list of the top pages to rebuild, and then rebuild them exactly how they were. We covered that. If rebuilding 30 new pages, you also want to create, and again, for the creation of the pages, let me talk about this briefly. When we're recreating the pages exactly how they were, I'm talking about the URL structure. So the URL. So if I'm rebuilding, again, if we go back to our list here, if I'm rebuilding and this page had 300 and some links to it and I want to rebuild it, I'm going to rebuild that URL exactly how it was. I'm also going to build the title how it was. And I might even put the H1 how it was. But as far as all that content, no, I'm not going to go through all of that trouble. Even if you want to be lazy, you could seriously, honestly get away with just the title and the URL. Is perfectly fine for what we need to accomplish. Okay. Now the next step is going to be this. When you're running and using your tools, what you're going to do is you're going to do site colon, okay? So after you've rebuilt the pages, after you've submitted to the indexer, after you built those pages, you can always come in and check and see your performance, okay? So you can come in here and just type in whatever your website is, website.com, but let's just say it's this because I'll show you something. So it's chrispalmermarketing.com. So let's just say I'm just using this as an example, and what you're looking for is these 3 dots if you don't have a tool. I'm sharing this with you if you don't have a tool, and then you can see, hey, how's your progress? How are things picking up? Are things showing up? Is stuff starting to show up? Because after you submit the Search Console, after you create a sitemap and submit it, after you run the backlinks through the indexer, and after you recreate those pages, you should start seeing pages pop up, especially if you are launching the exact same pages that were there before with the same titles. Those should show right up inside of here. Like, they should start showing right up. If they don't, you probably have a dud domain. How long should you wait? Within 2 weeks to 30 days. You might even want to give it 45 days, but you should start seeing those URLs start popping up. If you're not seeing them pop right up, like really fast, like it should be faster than 2 weeks to be honest, but give it 2 weeks, give it 30 days. If you don't start seeing them pop up, you might want to steer clear of that particular domain. All right. Now, I just want to make sure that I covered everything here. We talked about building up the links. That's another step too. After you created the pages, so 6, we're going to go to 7 is submit sitemap. Okay. Obviously, I think we've covered every single element of this. So that should pretty much wrap it up. I just wanted to go ahead and get that out there for you guys. I wanted to make sure, I was asked by a client of mine, we walked through it. He wanted another walkthrough. I wanted to just share that with you. That pretty much wraps it up for today's website SEO video. How to utilize expired domains. Like, what do you do next? That's the process. You want to rebuild those pages, get the title, get the URL, submit your sitemaps, go get the backlinks list, submit that backlinks, and that's going to wrap it up for me. I have a client call. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day. Thank you all so much. Goodbye.